Thanks for joining us.
What's up,
All
guys?
right. We are live on TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube with our bathrobes on because we're just going to chill.
Mm-hmm.
We're not going to be too busy, but we're going to talk about busyness tonight and how to combat that, or is it a good thing or a bad thing, or yeah.
Yeah, in anticipation for tonight, I had some downtime today, so I went outside and I read and even took a little nap on my hammock, but I got a little sunburned, but it was so nice. I'm trying to be more intentional about finding moments like that. And instead of scrolling or making myself busy in different ways, it's like it's okay to just relax and
Yep.
chill and be outside and do things, that aren't productive.
100%. Yeah.
So that's what I did today. Well,
I
that
put
wasn't the only thing, but
I mowed the lawn. I wasn't planning on mowing the lawn, but we had this big storm coming in, and I just knew it was going to make my grass grow another, 3 inches. So
yeah,
I was like, all right, I need to get out there and mow. And so I mowed the lawn and then played a bunch of Fortnite and just kind of kicked it.
that sounds
Just,
good. I
kind of
love that.
relaxed. Yeah. And then I did all the social media stuff too, which,
That's
wow.
work.
I mean, that takes hours
Oh
sometimes,
yeah. Yeah.
and I don't get to it often because I'm usually too busy, or I'm trying to prioritize. But it's like I took 2 days off. I'm gonna jump on social media because I really wanted to talk to everybody tonight and pick everybody's brain, pick your brain, and we've already got some good conversation going on Instagram. A lot of
Yeah.
people I've gotten some comments, but I've also gotten in my poll,
Uh-huh.
some it's going a little differently than I thought it would. So we'll share that in a little bit.
Interesting.
But first, while we have TikTok's attention, something we like to do, we like to jump onto TikTok and talk about non-scale victories. So lay them on us. What do you got for us? TikTok and Instagram, Facebook, YouTube. You guys can drop those in the chat as well. Non-scale victories. Shay, what is a non-scale victory? You always
Y
ask me, so
Yeah, I know, so you're turning the table.
flipping it to you.
You got your robe on, you're
Do
feeling
you think? Yeah.
powerful. I get it, I get it. Yeah, so those that don't know, a non-scale victory is just like a win for the week, and we call it non-scale victories because a lot of us who are in the weight loss community, we tend to focus a lot on the scale, which, can be a big part of our journey and experience, but there's so many other wins that have nothing to do with the scale. And so even if you're not on a weight loss journey, it's basically just like a win or something that you're excited about for the week. So that's what a non-scale victory is. So feel free to share yours. What about you, Murph? Do you have one? I know you usually don't come in with one in mind,
I
but
don't. I keep
I,
myself guessing on
I know.
purpose.
Well, I was gonna ask you about mowing the lawn. How do you enjoy doing that, or like, do you hate it, or what is that experience like for you?
I love doing landscaping stuff, and I could talk landscaping all day and the things
Interesting.
that I've done in the yard.
I
And
didn't know
so
that about you.
yeah, I really I laid some pavers this week, a little pathway. We got another gazebo. I okay, so I went and got a fade, right? The hair.
Uh-huh. Uh-huh. Did you
That's
use
kind
your
of that's
lawnmower for that or?
well, that's how I mow my lawn. Honestly, I do my edging and
Uh-huh.
I trim really really close to the lamp poles or the stumps that we have out there, and
Yeah.
then I do like a one, and then I do a two, and I fade my lawn,
Wow.
because I've got OCD, and yeah, and so my kids don't mow my lawn, I mow my lawn, and I enjoy doing it.
Have
So
you have you always been like that, or is that something newer, or like because when you were at like your highest weight, I imagine that was pretty difficult to do with your back issues and stuff. Like how was that before?
yeah, at my highest weight, we hired the neighbor,
Oh, okay.
and we had to deal with him, and so he'd come over, and then this past summer we got our own lawnmower. Well, yeah, was it last summer or the summer before? We got our own mower, and I said, "Hey, buddy, I don't need you anymore. I could do this." And so I did it. So it's a non scale victory for sure.
Yeah.
Kind of late. I've never really talked about it, but
Yeah.
it's one of my favorite things to do. I love being outside. Um, I'm a bit old fashioned, old school. I like to have my pipe or a cigar when I'm mowing.
Oh, that's
Um,
fun.
and I like to just it relaxes me. I like doing
Yeah.
it. But it can be busy work. It can be a distraction from other things. I got to go mow the lawn. I got to, we'll talk
Mhm.
more about that later. So try to make sure that I'm doing it kind of, for the right reasons.
Yeah.
And so are we live on Instagram? I see that
Yeah.
you are live on Instagram, but the waiting table is not.
Oh.
It's just you. Sorry to
Oh, shoot,
sorry to cut off.
I'm on mine, my bad.
That's
I
okay.
forgot to transfer over. Okay.
Just want to make
Oh, we have
sure
some good comments, though. Okay, what I'll do, I'll stay
we can keep it. I don't
I'll
mind.
s or I'll
Just
stay on
collaborate.
live. I'll stay on Oh, I don't think I can do that. What I'll do, I'll stay on live for our happy hour, and then when we transition over to our main show, I'll go on the waiting tables.
Okay.
Yeah, sorry about that. Thank you for
Fine by
noticing
me.
that.
No, it's okay. I was waiting for. I thought maybe it would pop up or change or something.
Yeah, no, I'm just trying to keep you busy, keep you on your toes.
Uh huh.
And hopefully we'll get Rob on. We forgot to mention that, but we'll see if he can make it tonight. But if not, it's just us being non-busy.
Sadly, I don't know if you saw that text, Shay. Rob is
Oh,
not going to be. He's not going to be able to join us
oh,
tonight.
poor guy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I'm really bummed. He just. Yeah, they're having some. Do we say? I mean, he wouldn't mind, I guess.
I don't think so. Just
But
like,
yeah,
yeah,
some
sick kiddos and
sick kiddos, stomach bug issues, and he's home alone and with the kids and
being dad.
normally they'd be going to bed right around this time, but that's not the case. So
Yeah.
prayers, thoughts and prayers and good vibes to Rob. Stomach issues are no joke. and to have a whole family, or a couple kiddos struggling with that is
I
rough.
know. It's
Yeah.
hard with the kiddo. I mean, it's hard when it's yourself, but with the kiddos, it's like, ugh.
Yeah, it's a bummer.
All right. Well, we got some good non-scale victories. I'm going to read. Bob said, 1 year complete, excited for the future. Go, Bob. That's amazing.
Whoa. He's already 1 year post-op.
Yes. That's
No friggin'
incredible.
way.
I
I don't believe it.
know. I know.
That's awesome, man. Good job.
Yeah, and then, Katie said, "Being able to walk longer distances, not worrying I'll break a chair by sitting in it, feeling better all around." And Katie was one that I got to meet when I was down in California. She came to the Disneyland Bariatric meetup, and so we had dinner together, and so she was saying that she parked somewhere different, and so she had to walk. I think she said it was like a mile just to, like, get to the restaurant because of, like, how things were situated. And
Wow.
she was just saying like how that was such a big accomplishment for her too, of like just being able to walk and not feel that panic of like, I remember I would feel that way of if I had to park super far and had to walk a long way, or like going to like baseball games or things that you just have to walk, a long distance from the parking lot and you don't know like how long, can feel
Mhm.
really daunting. So that was one thing. Yeah, she said the GPS took her the wrong way. So yeah, that's super, super cool. And it was just so fun to like meet her in person and get to meet. And I saw Kyra was on and get to meet some people in person. That was so freaking cool.
Nice.
Yeah.
Very, very cool. Do you have a non-skill victory you'd like to share, Shay?
I didn't come as prepared. I'm pulling a Murph. I have to think on the spot. Well, because last week on girls' night, I shared like my Disneyland non-scale victory of where that always is just such a cool um comparison of just like going to Disneyland all day and my feet like don't hurt by the end of the day. That still is just like I don't understand how that works, because I just remember like it would be my feet would hurt so bad, like throbbing. I'd be so swollen at the end of the day. And to just like walk, I think Kyra had measured it out. It was like 7.5 miles that day. And I felt fine the next day, like a little bit sore in my hips, I think just from like probably getting in and out of the rides more so, but like it was like I could have walked another 7 miles that day. Like it's crazy. So I think that's definitely an NSV.
Yeah, oh for sure. I mean, and when you have, the added weight, anywhere you go, you want to have that perfect pair of shoes. You got to have the right,
Yes.
maybe compression socks or something like that.
Mhm.
And it's like, now, being on the floor, of the ER 12 hours a day, it's like, yeah, I want good shoes for that.
Mhm.
But it's if I were to go to Cedar Point or, somewhere where I'm on my
Mhm.
feet and doing, I think when I went to Cedar Point, I got like 22,000 steps in or something like
Mhm.
that. And I was wearing just like sandals, I think, like
Mhm.
leather, just strap sandals with like
Yeah.
no support. And it's like, I don't need magic shoes anymore. Like
Yeah.
I don't need like the right fit or the right, like it works.
What do you wear when you're on the floor all day? What shoes do you wear?
I I have a couple different pairs. Sorry, I was reading a comment on YouTube. I just bought a pair of Mizuno's, I think is how you say it.
Mhm.
I Brookses for like the first year I wore my Brookses, and I wore them out. I've got another pair of Brookses. Um, and I usually I buy my shoes at thrift stores typically.
Mhm.
I'm a
Yeah.
thrifty guy, and
Yeah.
I check the sole of it. I check the
Mhm.
rubber. I check the tread, and so my Mizuno's, they're $180 pair of shoes. I got them for $15, and they're my fit, like perfectly my
Oh,
fit,
that's aw well,
and
because 'cause
they're
they're already
super
broken in
comfortable.
at that point, which is kinda nice, like
These ones are almost so new that they weren't broken in
oh,
yet.
okay, okay.
Yeah, like I'm still kind of breaking them in. But they're comfortable. They're
Good.
ugly as sin, but I love them.
Those are, like, the best shoes, though.
I love ugly shoes.
Yeah. Well, I was telling the girls at Disneyland that I can only wear Birkenstocks. Like, my feet yell at me if I wear anything else. Like, I can't wear anything except Birkenstocks. Even my sneakers, like, they're Birkenstocks. My boots, Birkenstocks.
That
You
is such
know,
a West Coast thing, though. Like that is so like
but I'm
Birken
telling you,
Birkenstocks.
I
I
know,
love
but
it.
have you ever had a pair or tried a pair?
I have like the knockoff Birkenstocks. That's
Yeah,
what I wore to Cedar Point,
they can't
and
be they can't be the knockoffs, like, they have to be I don't know, something about them, they are magic shoes, like and they hurt kind of at first until you break them in, and now it's like if I tried over the winter to get different boots, and I just had to return them because they were all so painful, I'm like and they're spendy as hell, Birkenstocks are, but that's all that my feet will wear, so, it is
and
a very Oregon thing.
and when you find the shoe that fits it, like Brooks, like I love Brooks.
Yeah.
I want to stay in the Brooks family.
That's
I'm
such a Michigan
experimenting.
thing.
It is
I'm just
so
kidding.
it's a mid Michigan. Yeah, you got to get the Brooks. Um, but yeah, I've got a pair of Nikes too that they're like socks. They're like so comfortable.
Uh-huh.
And my boys tried them on because we all have the same shoe size, and they said that they remind them of the sneakers from Black Panther. Remember
Oh.
when he puts on those shoes and like um they're really stealthy, like you
Uh-huh.
don't hear them, when
Uh-huh.
and she calls them sneakers. But they're like that, like they just like they suction right to the foot, and they're really
Nice.
comfortable. So I'll pull those out when I have like a like a sore foot kind of day. Like those shoes
Uh-huh.
didn't feel great yesterday. Next day I'm wearing Nikes all day.
All right. Well,
Yeah.
cool. Well, hey, we have some more NSVs and guys, feel free to keep sending them in.
Shout them out.
Shout them out. Do you want to read the YouTube/Facebook one we got from Sarah as you took a bite of food, or you want me to? I'll take this one. You can
Go
do the
ahead.
next one, and then you can read the next one after you finished. Okay. Sarah said, I've decided to join my husband, Ryan, on his weight loss journey, although my goal is smaller. We both are losing the weight. I honestly don't know how I keep losing, but I wanted my husband to know I support him and join him. I thought changing up how we eat would be hard, but it hasn't been so bad. That's awesome. But I'd say it would be my daughter came to her dad and they started reading the Bible together and it was so great. It's what I needed. That's awesome. Well, it sounds like lots of cool journeys and happening over with you guys. That's
That's
great.
awesome. I'm proud of you guys. Sarah and Ryan are good friends of the family.
Oh, cool.
I've known Ryan since he was a little baby,
Oh,
and so great guy, great family, And I'm happy for you guys, excited for you guys, and being able to bond over something like that is just really, really cool. You know, and the Bible study together, and then eating healthy together, going on walks together, you know, just being encouraging of each other. That's just so awesome.
Yeah,
Good for you guys.
that's awesome.
Thanks for sharing too. Here,
Yeah.
I'm honored. Like, that's really cool. Thank you.
Do you want to read Justin's? His is the fun one. Can you see it on
Justin said,
Instagram?
okay, yeah, I've got 3 different devices going here. Was that a WrestleMania last week in Philly? Is that what we're okay? Okay. Walked around all weekend and thought, wow, wouldn't have been able to do this. Wasn't all super sweaty. LOL. Didn't worry about being smushed in a stadium seat. That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's awesome. When you can go, and those stadium seats are tiny, and then you got the person in front of you, and you're not bumping them in the back of the head with your stomach, or
Yeah.
Yeah. No, that's great. That's awesome, dude.
That's great. I thought you were gonna say that you were just in WrestleMania and that was your NSV, and I wouldn't have been surprised at that at all, actually.
Yeah.
He could take it down.
Can you smell what Justin's cooking?
And he said too that it was a big NSV weekend. He got to have an amazing experience with his son. That's so cool.
That's awesome.
When I was in California last week, me and Kyra and Michelle, Gas by Granny, she had always wanted to see the Red Sox play, and they were playing the Angels while we were down there. So we went to an Angels game, and it was the same thing. It was like not having to worry about like walking or fitting in the seats. It's like the 3 of us were all sat, next to each other, and it was, for me at least, like comfortable, and it's cool. I feel like going to things like that are good reminders of just how much work we've all done. It's super cool.
I feel like I drive my wife nuts because there's so many things that I do.
Yeah.
And I'm like, babe, can you believe I just did that? Like, can you believe I just did, like, I wouldn't have been able to do that 2-3 years ago. And she's like, yes, dear, I know.
Yeah.
I know. Babe, did you see that?
That's why it's good to have this community of people who aren't sick of hearing about it, because we're experiencing it too.
Like, I parked really close to a car the other day and was like, oh, there's no way I'm going to be able to fit through that, And then like I got out and I was like, oh, I got plenty of room. And I just like walked right, I didn't even have to turn sideways. I just walked right through it. I was like, babe, did you see that?
Did you catch that? Instant replay.
Dear. Yes, dear. Yeah, it kept doing it back and forth. I just kept walking through
you're like,
between the
you got to do a little
mirrors.
door dance. I feel like that would be like a good music video of you doing like a door dance.
Between the mirrors.
Yes. Do you want to read Aaron's on Instagram?
Hold up. Oh, it's back up again.
I can do it if
she said, I've been running on about 4 hours of sleep on average each night the last few weeks. Just stuff going on in and out of town. Never would I have been able to get through it at 286 pounds. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. You got a lot more energy. Your body's not trying to, you don't need as much sleep. You still need to get your sleep. That's how your body heals and stuff. Get your sleep, Aaron. But yeah, it's literally a load off when you don't have that excess body weight to carry around as well. You don't need as much rest or as much sleep.
Yeah.
So that's an awesome non-scale victory.
Well, it's so like frustrating too. Like when I had more excess weight, it's like I would be tired all the time. But even when I would sleep, it's not like I would feel good. Like it's not like I ever really felt like well rested.
Yeah. Yeah.
That was one of the biggest things I noticed after surgery. I'm like, oh, this is what like good quality sleep feels like. Like no wonder I was so miserable all the time. That was awful.
Yeah, we talked about that on the men's episode.
Did you? Yeah.
That first night's sleep that we got when we started using our CPAP machine. And it was just like, oh, this is what sleep is supposed to feel like, and now we're getting it all the time. So it's really cool.
Yeah. Do you still use your CPAP at all, Murph, or did you outgrow it or outshrink it?
Yeah, it got to the point where like I was sleeping better without it.
Yeah.
And, and I never like officially went to the doctor and was like, hey, I think I'm done with this. It's like
Yeah.
common
You just
sense.
kind of
Like,
graduated out of it.
yeah. And I sleep usually like a baby. I do take melatonin sometimes to help me, but for the most part, I get a good night's sleep.
Good. Oh, that's nice that
Aw.
Sarah shared. She said, "Shout out to you guys. Thank you for this podcast. You all are amazing. You're really changing people's lives for the better. Keep it up." Thanks, Sarah.
Sarah's just out to make me cry tonight, I think is what it is.
I know.
And
Keep putting the comments in,
the
Sarah. Let's
show
get Murph to cry before
the show
me.
hasn't even started yet. These are just non-scale victories. This is happy hour. This is happy hour.
You know what I'm thinking is we should, because it's just the two of us and it's not so complicated, we could probably just stay on TikTok live tonight too, because why not?
Whoa.
Non-scale victory staying on TikTok live for our whole show.
We could do it.
Why
Yeah, I mean,
not? Keep
we
it
could totally,
rolling. They
we could
just won't
totally
get
do
the
it.
sexy time music, but they're lost, you know?
Yeah. And we can crank it up. Maybe I'll unplug the headphone.
There you go. There you go.
Or yeah, we could stay on. I'm totally cool with that.
Cool. We'll be like the cool
Yeah.
kids on TikTok.
For an hour and a half. You think you can handle that TikTok?
I don't know. We're gonna find out.
I'm
All
slacking.
of our thousands of people on here.
So you can wave at people on TikTok, and I don't know if that's a new feature or just something I just
like
found
this?
out.
Or
Well, yeah, I mean, obviously I can. Yeah, I could do that.
like a
Oh my
virtual
gosh.
wave.
Rob, save me. No, but like there's like a virtual. Well, I mean, you've got it on Instagram as well. But
oh yeah, when you can wave, yeah.
But like it's not coming up on my end. I think it would only come up on your end.
Yeah, and because we're doing it on StreamYard, it doesn't let you do that.
That's what it is, I think. Yeah.
Streaming.
So I'm having fun over here, just waving at everybody.
Just waving.
What's up? What's up, y'all? Just waving.
I'll do the old-fashioned wave. You can do.
Hello.
At the Angels game, it was so sad. There's like these kids that kept trying to get the wave to go, and it just like wouldn't take. I'm like, oh.
Wah, wah. Well, we've got about 6 more minutes left. Non-scale victories. My mom is saying the Sandman is beating her to death.
I love. When I first read that, for some reason, I'm like, is that like her dog?
That's her. No, it's
sleep. I get it now.
It's one of those things that your mom says, and you never laugh at it. And then like now that I'm a parent, and I find myself saying it, and I'm like, oh God, I've turned into my mother.
Yes. Well, I have an NSV on behalf of, I think she'd be okay with me sharing this, Kyra. So Kyra came all the way from not Michigan, but Minnesota for the Disneyland Bariatric meetup.
Wow.
And it was so fun because she was so adventurous this trip. I was like so excited and proud of her. But she has a fear of heights, but she went on Soaring Over California, which is like a height thing, and she did amazing. Her and I got tattoos on our trip. Yeah.
What?
Yeah. Look.
The waiting table tattoos? Oh, okay.
Yeah. It's for me, you, and Rob. That's what I got it.
Yeah. I see it. I see it.
But yeah, like she was so adventurous. And I find like I feel like I'm a lot more adventurous, like after having surgery. So it was fun to do those things. And even Michelle too. Michelle was super adventurous. Like it's just fun getting to like make new memories with people that I haven't spent a lot of time. Well, this was the first time meeting Kyra in person. Michelle and we met in at the Just Be You Awards. But yeah, I think we need to do tattoos the next time we're all together. Would you be down?
Oh yeah, I'm always down for a new tat.
What would you get? Would you do you have anything on your list that you would get, or would you just spur of the moment?
I would gladly get the waiting table logo.
You would not, would you? Really?
I would get that. That's a big part of my life. Yeah, absolutely.
Wow. Okay.
Maybe that, or love yourself to death, or LY2D or something like that.
Yeah, I like that.
Or a teardrop. or
Yeah,
something.
one of those. I
I don't
joke
know.
I joke that I would get a Shrek tattoo with Mel, but like I'm actually like I like it. I might do it if the mood struck. I think that would be kind of funny.
A Shrexy,
A sexy Shreksy.
little Shrexy tat. Oh my goodness.
I don't know.
The boys and I want to get a Trogdor tattoo. If you don't know what Trogdor is, yeah, it's from a show back in the early 2000s. Really bad animation. It's comedic. It's really funny.
What
Yeah.
is it? Like, what does it
So
look like?
Trogdor is a dragon with a buff, muscly arm, and he breathes fire. And Trogdor the Burnin
Oh,
Trogdor the Burninator. It's really silly and stupid.
I
But
like it. I'll get a
my
picture up here so you guys can see what it
as
looks
my
like.
as my older boys, it's been like an inside joke, like a thing that there's a song that goes along to it. And
Can
so I said,
you sing the song?
no, I'm not gonna sing the song because
Maybe just a little preview?
um are you able to play maybe no, I can't.
Well, I wanna know what it sounds like.
Oh, I'll add it to my stories when we're done.
Okay, that
I
sounds
gotta, I
good.
gotta find it on YouTube. So it's from a show called Homestar Runner. Um, back in the day, it was something me and my brother liked. We used to watch. It's so stupid that it's kind of funny. And so as my kids got older, it's one of those things that I showed my kids, and then they just like, that's so stupid, Dad, but it's funny. And then and they got on, they were kind of hooked on it. And now it's like we want to get Trogdor tattoos.
That's cute. Okay, here, sorry. I like all the ones that I saved, they wouldn't come up. Okay, here he is.
Katie wants to, yeah, that's Trogdor the Burninator. There's a more detailed colored image.
Yeah, I tried to
but
save those, but they wouldn't save for some reason. They they were just like web links, so this is like the only one that would save.
yeah, no, that's a good one. That's a good one. That's the original outline, and then
Okay.
but yeah. So it's
You could get that and then just put my name on it because it looks like an S. So it could be Shea.
just add the HEA.
Yeah. Oh, look, Katie said she'd get a Shrek tattoo with me. Okay, Katie. I think we have a couple that would get Shrek'd with me.
We have totally derailed from non-scale victories, I think.
Those are non-scale victories in the future. Those are
okay.
our non-scale victories yet to come.
Future non-scale victories.
That are yet to come, yes.
In the future.
In the future, Shrek tattoos, here we come. I keep talking a big game. Maybe when there's like a bigger meetup, I'll just see who wants to come get him with me.
Heck yeah.
All right. Well, it's 6:00. Should we do sexy time music, which means bathroom breaks for us? Yeah. I will, those that are on Instagram, I'm going to go onto the waiting table since I joined on my personal one by accident. So go hop back on over there. TikTok, are you going to put them on pause and then we'll rejoin just in a few minutes here?
Yeah. Well, okay. Yeah, I can pause it. Let me figure out how to do that. And then sure.
All right. We'll see you guys just in a few. Don't go anywhere except go to the waiting table. So I guess go somewhere.
I'm going to go to the bathroom.
We'll see you guys there.
Okay.
Okay.
Nothing can stop me. No. 'Cause I'm addicted to what you and I realize. Lead the way, I follow. No need to say where we are heading now, babe. I follow to the edge of it all. So tell you good night, 'cause I'll find no better one, yeah. Susceptible now, before the moment flies, before it flies. So tell you good night, 'cause I'll find no better one. Susceptible now, before the moment flies, in this moment, yes, I cannot say what's wrong or right. No, it's not hard to fool me.
Let's go.
No.
1, 2, 3, 4.
What's up, guys? I'm Rob, and I got some big thighs.
Hey, this is Murph, and I like to cry.
What's up, guys? It's Shea. I'm the girl, and you are joining the Waiting Table podcast. What's up?
What's up?
We're here.
We are.
Did you like my impersonation of Rob? That was to get him back for his
That was-
impersonation of me.
That was awful. He's gonna absolutely hate it. I loved it. It was fantastic.
I love it. Well, now that Rob's not here, I will.
I can do.
You
I
you
can
do the intro. You go
I'll do
for
the
it.
Intro. I
Do
got
it.
the intro.
You got
All right.
it.
Thank you, ladies and gentlemen, for coming back to the Waiting Table podcast, where we like to have round table discussions about the hottest topics with some of the coolest people in the bariatric community. Except for tonight, it's just Shay and I. I'm Murph. This is Shay. We've got you. So let's wind down. Let's relax. Open chair and take a seat at the table. Shay, how you doing?
Good. That's why you wanted to do the intro. I like it. I'm doing
Yeah.
good. I'm here in my cozy robe. I know you got a cozy robe on.
Mhm.
I liked just like the whole vibe you put out for tonight of like being relaxed and chill. And that's what we're doing. And we're on TikTok tonight.
Yeah.
Normally, we bid adieu to TikTok and go just on to YouTube, Facebook, Instagram. But we're getting a little crazy tonight, and I'm here for it. So
Yeah. Might
Yeah.
as well. Yeah, we'll stick around. And,
yeah,
you know,
I like it.
yeah, see what shakes out.
I like it. How are you doing?
Yeah, I'm doing good. Doing a lot better.
Yeah, can you
Yeah.
are you okay to update? Because I know you shared some of your health stuff that was going on. Like, how are
Yeah.
you feeling? How are you doing?
I'm doing a lot better. I was in the hospital 2 weeks ago. Tuesday, had a gallbladder issue, something or other. Fortunately, I work in an ER, and so I was able to just go and get checked out on the spot. And I got released that day, went home and had some downtime for a couple days and just try to take care of myself. And then that following Friday, I was going to go into work again, and then had a flare up of some sort Friday morning. And I was admitted to the hospital. I thought I was going in for emergency gallbladder surgery, but they said it wasn't necessary. Might have had some pancreas issues, low blood sugar. My blood sugar dropped down to 36. But it might have been because I couldn't keep any food in.
What's normal with
It
blood
was
sugar? I
bad.
don't. What's like I don't really know blood sugar.
You know, above 70, between 70 and like 120, you
Okay.
know, or 100.
So
And
that's pretty
so
low.
Yeah, and so 36 is, I could, you can go into a coma almost,
Mhm, mhm.
a diabetic coma, um, and so it was scary. It was really scary
Mhm.
for a minute, and and I had endocrinology and surgery calling me, and we're trying to figure out what exactly is going on, and we still really don't know. But I feel great.
Good.
Um, I worked a couple 12-hour shifts last weekend. Took a couple days off this week, and did some yard work and mowed the lawn today, and just hanging out. Did some social media stuff, and got all those videos posted, and wanted to share about our topic for tonight because it's super super important.
Yeah.
And so we'll get to the busyness uh, later, I guess, or we can jump on in, but
Yeah.
yeah,
Well, I think it's just a fitting topic. We were gonna do it a few weeks ago now, and then I can't remember what happened, but it was gonna be like
so we
I don't know.
had
We got like busy. It was like
I
weird
yeah,
stuff that kind of came up, and so it's fitting. It's just I feel like a very timely topic because being busy is I think we all can relate to that. It's I try not to be, but it somehow creeps in, and then before you know it, it's like either your mind is busy or like actually the things you're doing just are busy. And so, yeah,
absolutely.
it's a timely topic.
And it's not exclusive to bariatric patients, and
Right.
and we do typically cater to the weight loss community and the bariatric community here,
Mhm.
but this is something that I think is important for everyone to
Mhm.
discuss, whether you have a big family or not, like I do, with a million kids, or if you're single and it's just you,
Mhm.
what's good busy, what's bad busy, what's
Yeah.
productive busyness, and the necessary busy, and then the running from your problems busy, and things like
Yeah.
that.
So I
But
have a question for you, Murph, about
yeah.
that. Do you think I have the finger out? That's how you know this is a serious
Uh-oh.
question. No, I'm
Uh-oh.
just kidding. No. Do you think that being busy is a mindset or do you think it's an actual thing? Does that make sense? Like, or maybe both? Like, what are your thoughts on that?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, yeah. I think it's a little bit of both, you know what I mean? Being busy for me is a mindset.
Mhm.
I feel like when I'm busy, I don't allow myself time to dive into some of the mental health issues that I'm facing, or
Mhm.
or
Mhm.
yeah, or more recently the physical health issues that I'm
Mhm.
facing. If I'm staying busy, it's to distract myself typically. A lot of people like to blare music, 24/7, or have their TV on,
Yes.
to keep the mind occupied. And it's a coping strategy. I think we
Mhm.
all do it, especially I think bariatric patients, because we've got so much going on in such a short amount of time. You know, for example, I've lost a little over 300 pounds in 2 years.
Mhm.
My body's going through changes. My mind is going through changes. I've got so much going on that I'm trying to manage, on top of having a family and trying to see myself as an award winning, inspirational type of person. It's like, what the heck kind of lifestyle is this? You know what I mean? It's like your whole life becomes something very, very different. And so I think we live as bariatric patients, and I'm not speaking on behalf of everyone, but I would wager to bet that we we develop this sense of FOMO,
Mhm.
with these bariatric retreats and all these things that are going on. We missed out. For me, I missed out on 15 years of
Mhm.
of of life, of living, from for myself and for my family, and I want to make up for lost time.
Mhm.
It's never going to happen, you know. But if I stay busy enough and I do enough and I take my kids enough places and I spend enough money and I work enough hours and I do, you know what I mean? It's like,
Mhm.
and that's not practical. That part of it, I guess, is not practical.
Mhm.
Um, so I don't know. What do you think about that? I know that you had a question. You had that question for me, but
Yeah.
back to you.
Yeah, I feel like it's an excuse that I've used a lot in
Mm.
the past of like oh, I'm just so busy. Like I would say that a lot especially like when I was going to school full time and working full time and like there was the reality of like my time was more limited especially during that season because it's like I would work all day and then I would do basically homework and school stuff until going to bed, but for me, it's definitely, I think, more of a mindset where I really try hard not to say that anymore or just go like, yeah, I do have a lot going on. But it's interesting because like after having surgery, I feel like that opened up a lot of opportunities for me of like doing things that I've always wanted to do. And so it's kind of funny because I feel like from more of an objective perspective, I have more going on and I'm busier now than probably I've ever been in different ways, but it doesn't feel like that to me because it's like there are things that I'm wanting to do. And I also have the grace and balance with myself that I didn't have before of like, if it gets to the point of feeling like it's too much or I need a break, I listen to that now where it's like, today I had a bit more downtime where it's like, yeah, I'm just going to go outside and read for a bit, or I'm going to take a nap, or I'm going to rest. And like, getting back from California, I was gone for 10 days down in LA and it was so much fun. But like, there was a lot that was going on. And so, coming back home this week, it's like in the beginning of the week, I thought I would get a lot of content stuff done. I was feeling excited about that. And then my body was just kind of like, no, girl, like you just got to chill because you've been going a lot. You need to relax. And so that's what I've been trying to do. And so yeah, I think for me, it's more of a mindset. And I think like when I tell myself, like, oh, I'm so busy, it like gets me more like panicked and kind of like in this like high energy where instead I try to look at it a bit more practically of like, okay, there are a lot of options of things to do. And like that FOMO that really resonates with me of like, I don't want to miss out on anything. And at the same time, like, what is my body needing? Do I need to rest? Am I wanting to be social and do things? Like, I think I just feel more empowered to make choices and not feel like I have to do everything. And I think that comes a lot from like healing my people pleasing tendencies, right? Because when I was in that space of like feeling like I had to say yes to everybody and do everything for everybody else, that's when life felt really busy. But now it's like, no, like I choose to do things for me, and the people who understand it, and people who don't. And I just feel like more at peace and okay with that. So,
Yeah, it's not only are you trying to make up for lost time, and do things for your family, but you're trying to do things for yourself as well, and
mhm,
trying to love on yourself, and
mm,
you're trying to be, intentional with your time, but you cram so much in your day, or you do so much, or you try to, yeah, the FOMO thing is just totally real. Like if I had it my way, I'd be at every single bariatric meetup, but I've had to say no. I think I'm just going to go to like one a
mhm,
year.
mhm,
And for me, the one that makes the most sense is the Just Be You Bariatric Awards. I think
mhm,
that's the biggest bang for the buck. And if I can make it to another one, then I will. But that's the one I think that benefits me, my family, my friends, my community. You know what I mean? It
mhm.
kind of checks all the boxes. So I want to be intentional with that. Um, but
So that
I,
means we're gonna get to see you in St. Louis in 2025, huh? The girl just
that's
announced it.
Yeah, that's the plan. I absolutely love to be there again.
Yeah. And
The,
that's
the date.
closer to you, or well, is that close to you? That's kind of close to you, right?
I think it's further than DC,
Oh, okay.
but
Then
yeah,
it's
no,
closer to me, but not that close.
no, yeah, it's kind of like right, almost in the middle of, yeah. I was hoping to be a little bit more, north, Chicago or something like that, because that's only three
Mhm.
hours away. But
Yeah.
it is what it is. Um, but St. Louis is cool. I think I've never been there. I've got a lot of family there, and so yeah, so that'd be a lot of fun. But yeah, being busy is not a bad thing though. You
Mhm.
know, it's I think when you become too busy and you lose sight of why you got bariatric surgery in the first place,
Mhm.
or why you are becoming healthier than you were. You know, we get caught up in the things that we couldn't do that we can do now, so we got to do them all.
Mhm.
You know,
Or being
um,
busy with the wrong things. I think that's when it doesn't feel great. When you're
so
busy and you're like not and you're like, "Oh my gosh, my day is so full," but of things that like I hate to be doing.
right. So I was having this conversation with Michelle earlier. I guess how do you
Gas
say
by
it?
Granny.
Gas by Granny. Yeah.
Yeah, she was the
Um,
one that was at the Disneyland meetup with us. I
yeah, I
love
love
her.
her. She's
I know.
fantastic. She stayed with us in DC,
Yeah.
and she's just the best. Um, and so I posed the question because I feel like I have certain people in my life that I grew up, wanting to be like. I
Mhm.
I
Thor is the top one, obviously.
yes, and then Iron Man, um, Tony Stark. Um, but no, there's people in my life that I really really looked up to and really wanted to be like. And then as I got older, I realized, like, wow, they're just really busy. And every
Mm,
time that I needed something, you know, they weren't there for me
mhm,
when it mattered the most, when it was important, because they're busy, and they would say, I'm busy, I'm busy, I'm busy, I'm busy, I'm busy.
mm,
Like, that was their response for everything. Oh man, I wish I could, but I'm just so busy. And
mhm.
it's like, wow, like that busy, like you're that busy. You've promised me 10 times now that we're going to do this thing,
Yeah.
and you're that busy. And so I started looking into busyness, and this was years ago. And from a biblical standpoint, from a pastoral standpoint, because I used to be a youth pastor and an ordained minister, and so, like, a lot of things, I go to the Bible and just try to see, what, we read a lot about, slothfulness, and not so much just being lazy, but just um not caring about things. And
Mhm,
so what is the opposite of, like, not caring about things? And it's being that extra busy. And so I posed that question, does anybody feel that way? Or, well, how did I say it? I said, in my opinion, and this is just my opinion, busyness is the opposite of slothfulness. And slothfulness is one of the seven deadly sins, right?
mhm,
And so Michelle said, and I hope she doesn't mind me reading this. She said it depends if busyness is productive, which I completely agree with. For example, would you say reading scriptures or taking a bath, and would you say that that's slothfulness or busyness? To me, it's a matter of perspective. And I said, yeah, I totally agree. And we had this, like, back and forth conversation. And so I think when you're being productive and when you have to do things, you have to go to work. I have to take my kids to their other parents' house. I have to mow the lawn. Like, there's the everyday busy life, but then outside of that, am I finding things to fill time so that I don't have to be alone with my thoughts, be alone with my
mhm.
kids, be alone with my spouse, or go visit a loved one, or, you know what I mean? Like, prioritizing your busyness, I think, is just really important. And when we live in this new body and this new lifestyle, and, talking about FOMO, and I don't want to, beat a dead horse here. This is, but I think it's just really, really important that we
Yeah.
do the things that matter, and we check our, um, why are we doing it? Does it benefit us? Does it benefit,
Mhm.
you know what I mean? Or am I running from something, or,
Yeah. That's why I what's really helped me with seeing things kind of from that perspective, like, I'm pretty aligned with that. Like, seeing it everything that I do as my choice. So even those things like what you had said about going to work or whatever, it's like when I feel frustrated of like, "Oh, I don't wanna go to work," it's like, well, I'm making that choice. I could make the choice to quit my job, but then that would have consequences of not having money to support my family, not being able to pay for my house or whatever. And so that's been really helpful of seeing still those things as choices, because I think that's what I felt really stuck a lot in my life, like before having surgery, stuck in that, like, stuck in the body that I was in, stuck in the certain situations I was in. I just felt like I didn't really have control of my life. But really, those were all choices that I made. Some of the stuff wasn't, like, not being able to get pregnant when we wanted to, certain things like that. There's circumstances that are outside of my control. But we really do have a lot of choice in the way that we live our lives. And um, certain circumstances that happen, we don't. But I don't know, just seeing it that way has helped me feel more empowered in making decisions. And it's like, I still make choices and do certain things that aren't my favorite thing to do, but it's still my choice to do that. Um, so I don't know if that makes sense or that perspective resonates, but that's been helpful just to see everything as a choice. I'm choosing to go to work. Yeah, maybe this isn't my favorite thing to do, or it's like I don't want to do it, but I'm making the choice because of the outcome it provides. And
Yeah.
it's a choice that I don't like. What can I do to change that? Whether it's
Right.
looking for a new job or, trying to do more content stuff to try to make money that way. Like, we all have choices. And
Yep.
I think, I don't know, for me, it's helpful seeing it that way.
Well, yeah. I mean, you're making a choice to live in a house that costs X amount of dollars.
Mhm.
So then you need to make a choice to go to work for X amount of hours to make X amount of money to, and yeah, like it's all about choices. We made this choice to have bariatric surgery. We make a choice on what we put in our mouths every single day, what meals we choose to eat. We might be burnt out on eggs, or we might be burnt out on the what is the that puree stage,
The soft food,
the Italian
ricotta
the
cheese.
ricotta cheese bake, right? Everybody loves that first couple bites of that ricotta cheese bake, and then all of a sudden it's like, I gotta eat this again tomorrow. I made enough to last 3 days. I gotta but we're making these choices, and I guess when we make these choices to better ourselves, it's not a consequence that we have to live with. It's our why. Why did we do it? To better ourselves. We have to just maybe keep reminding ourselves that that's why we did it. And I hated the phrase. I love it now. I wouldn't say love it, but trusting the process. And I feel like when you're making choices that are going to benefit you, sometimes those choices are hard to make. They're not always easy. We have to make some difficult choices. Some of us, we have to force ourselves to get up at 4 or 5 in the morning and go to the gym or go to work. Or Eric that we had on the show, he drinks a gallon of water before he goes to the gym, which is ridiculous, and that is not a choice
Ladder
that
of steel.
I am not willing to make that choice. But some of us have to. Some of us need to. Some of us should. And then what are we doing? And why are we doing it? What is the point? And I feel like to be, and I don't know, I hope this isn't like too controversial, but if you want to be a bariatric patient, this is not the easy way out. This is the hardest thing I've ever done in my life.
Yeah.
You are gonna be faced with some serious choices,
Yeah.
and prioritizing your food, your intake, your exercise, your whole life. And then you have to include activities that you do, your schedule, your busyness, your work schedule, your family. That FOMO. Shea disagrees. She's leaving. She's totally done with me. This is the Murph Show, everybody.
I was trying to be inconspicuous. That sun was like, I haven't been in here with daylight savings yet. And I was like, this is good. He's on a roll. I'll be able to just do it real quick. And then he called me out like that.
I found myself squinting for you, Shea. I was
I
oh my God.
I kept like trying to move and stuff. I'm like, no, I need to put the blinds down. I made that choice to try
You
to
did.
do it in
You did.
time, but
Uh-huh.
here we are. I have to live with the consequence now. It's cool.
And
Look,
it's
now I can see that was
you
a
can
good
see
outcome.
good. You should just put your sunglasses on.
I
That'd been
should
cool.
have. I still have them up here.
So anyways, I don't mean to ramble about it, but it's just, life is full of choices, and some choices are just, it's part of the process, and you got to trust the process, and then some choices we don't have to make, and we have to look at what is going to benefit us.
Yeah.
And that's what this bariatric community is good for too. If you're coming in to this bariatric community and you haven't had bariatric surgery yet, or you recently got bariatric surgery, you're asking questions. What are my options? What are my choices? What, is this going to happen to me? Is that going to happen? How quickly am I going to, and then that's how I met Rob. We started talking about poop. I asked him, like, hey, what's my choice here? What are my options?
What are my poop choices?
What are my poop choices? How many stool softeners do I take? I haven't gone in 5 days, and that's not my choice.
Yeah, and that was my point. Circumstances sometimes happen to you that you can't control.
Exactly. Wish I could.
Well, and one of the things that was like so surprising to me after surgery was just like how much mental and emotional capacity I had that I didn't have before. And so for me, it felt kind of like this nervous, anxious energy where it's like I wanted to busy myself in the beginning to just like avoid all of the emotions that were coming up that I like had stuffed down for so long. And even now too, I find myself, now that I'm 2 years outside of surgery and I'm in a maintenance mode. I was just talking to my therapist about this today, where I've gone from such extremes of like under eating for so long and being more in that like diet culture mindset, to then I went to more nourishing my body and eating what I needed to nourish myself. Then I had bariatric surgery because I was still holding on to excess weight at that time. Went back to not eating that much, because that's how the surgery works, especially in the beginning, to then ramping back up to eating more food. And it's been like this back and forth thing, to where I was telling her today, like, I kind of just feel a little lost right now of like, I've always had like a plan, whether it's a diet plan, the bariatric plan. And now that I'm in maintenance, it's like, I just feel a bit lost of like what to do. And so I've been trying not to get in that mindset of like busying myself to distract myself to not deal with stuff. And so I was just telling Murph before we jumped on, like I started seeing a new therapist to kind of like help with some of that. But I've heard people say like maintenance is weird. And I'm like, oh, I get it now. Like it is really weird. Like I just thought that, oh, once I lost the weight and whatever, it would just be so much easier. It's like, no, there's still stuff to deal with, unfortunately. It's like, dang it.
Yeah. It's maintenance is one of the weirdest phases of life that I've ever been in.
Yeah.
I don't know, like I've been trying to just trust myself and just trust that I'm going to make good choices for myself. I don't weigh in hardly anymore. I used to be in a daily weigher, and I'm not anymore. And I'm just trying to trust myself that I'm making the right choice. Why do I have to put the puzzle piece together for TikTok?
Oh, because we've been on a long time.
Okay, it's like it timed out.
Yeah.
That was new. I've not. Okay. But yeah, maintenance is weird. I mean, you're going to be what, 2 years up? 2 years.
I had my
you are
anniversary. Yeah.
Yeah, that's right. March 17th. And then.
Wow. Good memory.
Thank you. It's St. Patrick's Day and my son's birthday.
Yeah. Good days.
Good. Yeah, it's a good day. It's a good day. But that's your surgery. And then I'll be 3 years post-op in July. And then Rob will be 4 years. And then just going through this maintenance, 3 year, 2.5, year maintenance thing. It's really wonky. It's really weird. Like I'm still in that baby giraffe phase. But
maybe that's just kind of permanent. Like maybe that's just kind of life, right?
That's what I'm wondering. Because it's like I feel solid. I feel like okay, like I'm trusting my legs, but the ground feels shaky. You know what
And
I
I
mean?
think
It's like
that
the
it is.
foundation is weird. It's like
Yeah.
is this a me thing or is this just like
I
a
think
life
it's
thing?
I think
I-
it's just a life thing because
It's just
I
weird.
think once you learn more and you grow more, you start to realize that like, oh, you didn't really know anything and you just
Right.
learn more and more like, oh, I really don't know anything. Oh, I really don't know anything. But then it's like you can embrace it and just go, oh, I think for me, that's what I'm kind of deconstructing a bit too, is there's these certain structures that I've had in my life, my whole life, like certain like a religion, um, different food related things, my job, like my day job in certain ways. And there's been so much unsteadiness with like all of those things all at once. And
Yeah.
it's not that they were solid to begin with in a lot of ways, but I had the perception that they were. And
Yeah.
it's really trippy just going, "Oh," like, just kind of coming to the realization that, like, nothing is really stable in life, like, there's always change, there's always different things, and it's trippy, it's weird.
It's different. It's just so different. I don't day to day. It's just weird. Yeah.
Yeah. One of the things, Shannon had said in the Instagram comments, which I'm like relating to a lot, she said, I had a big mental setback when my dream dress, she put in quotes, for my bariatric reunion didn't fit when it was a
Mm,
size bigger than I usually wear. It's
mm,
hard to redirect my mindset to the wins. And that's kind of where I've been at too, where like the scale has gone up for me. And again, I was talking with my therapist about that today, where it's like, it's just those things can be such big triggers because it like gets in my mindset of like, oh no, like I'm just going to spiral out of control and I'm going to lose my freedom again. I'm not going to be able to, walk or do things, even though logically it's like I just came back from Disneyland where I had all these NSVs. I was able to walk. All of the things that I went into, most of the things that I went into wanting from bariatric surgery, I've already gotten and I'm
mm.
maintaining those things.
Yeah.
But it is weird how certain things, the dress doesn't fit or the scale goes up or whatever it is, it can just get in and just like lock into your mind. And it's weird.
Yeah. Yeah. It really is. And I wanted to read some more comments too.
Yeah, please do.
Um, I'm gonna jump over to TikTok because Brandon had some really funny
Brandon,
comments.
we're gonna make you a ricotta bake when we meet you in person. I think that's what I got out of what he said.
I love this guy. I lost track, sorry, Brandon, of how far out you are, but I know he's very recent. He's very new
Cool.
to the VSG. So he said he loves eggs. I still love eggs.
Me too.
I do. The ricotta bake was a big nope for him. Um, and I loved it, but it got old quick. And
Yeah.
like there's some things that I've tasted. I feel like I've tasted them and they bring back that memory of the ricotta bake. Like it's got that flavor to it, that texture to it. I'm like,
Lasagna
ooh,
probably.
I don't know if I like that. Yeah,
Yeah.
I had something when I was in the hospital.
Uh-huh.
Um, there was like a ricotta type thing, but it was with the noodle.
It's probably like
It
lasagna. A
wasn't.
lot of people will put ricotta in like lasagna and stuff.
Yeah, and it brought back that flavor because it was hospital food, and it was just
Yeah.
very bland and like not a lot to it. And it's
Uh-huh.
like I've had lasagna and lasagna is fine, but it was like something about that really brought back that ricotta
It
bake.
was
And I was just
bariatric
like, oh,
ricotta.
I forgot about that. There's a reason I forgot about that. Um, Triplet Dad of TikTok. Oh, I love this guy. He's fantastic. He's always on here, and I love jumping into his lives. He said, "Where'd it go? What did he say? Hold on.
I saw him.
Eggs go down easily for him.
Yeah.
I uh, just want to be done losing weight for once.
Yes,
Um,
and I feel that, man. I feel that so much because that's kind of where I was too, where it's like, I just want my body to be stable for once, not going up and down,
yeah,
but then it is weird being in that place though of like, I've gained a little bit, but for the most part, like my clothes and stuff, like I've been fairly stable, and it's weird how it brings up weird things too, even within that.
Yeah. Yeah.
But
Brandon also added some really, really wise words. Probably took me 2-3 years into
mhm.
into this journey. Marry the process, divorce the outcome. That was something that I shared a video on Instagram similar to that, and it took me a long time to realize that.
Mhm.
Um, and that's so true. Words of wisdom right there, man. Good job.
Mhm.
Rab over on YouTube says that he recently started not liking eggs. Rab, we had him on the show a couple weeks ago. He and Tony D, and from the Berry Mail experience, and yeah, he's I think he's 10 months post-op, and now all of a sudden eggs are just like, yeah,
I
yeah,
think you have enough foods for a while, and then it's like, ugh. Like, I get
yeah,
that.
yeah. Yeah, triplet dad of TikTok. Yeah, it's 700 plus pounds. Um, yeah, he's really cool. I like jumping on his lives. He's a cool guy. He always says hi, super friendly. I love that guy.
Aw.
Um,
I'm
Rab is too. Rab is too. He's not a bad guy. I like
That's
him
right.
too.
We have some I just love seeing the guys emerge in the weight loss community. That's been so much fun. I feel like in this last year, we've had some really amazing men come out and share their stories, and I've loved seeing that. That's been really cool.
Lots of cool guys.
Yeah. One of the things that I think helps me too with like busyness, like I came back, I talked about I just was in LA for 10 days, totally out of my routine, like doing different things in a completely different environment. And in the past, for like pre-surgery, it was always really difficult for me to get back into like a routine. And so like a lot of times I would come from this like totally different environment, vacation, whatever it was, I would come back home and I would feel just like defeated and kind of get into that busy mindset of like, trying to catch up and not really knowing what I'm doing. And it's interesting because it's a lot easier for me now to go in and out of my routine. I think part of it is because I'm not so harsh on myself. It's like giving myself grace of like, I was in a completely different environment for an extended amount of time. It's okay to come back and feel a bit discombobulated, needing more rest and all of that. And it's cool though, because I feel like I've built routines now that I actually enjoy coming back to, where I live a life that I enjoy and I've built things that I enjoy doing. So I actually look forward coming back to do those things. Whereas before, when I would go away or go to vacation, it was like a way to escape my life because there were a lot of things in it that I didn't like. So I'm curious for you, Murph, does that resonate, or like how does that feel when you're kind of going in and out of your routine like that? Or like even for you, like you were in the hospital, that's like a huge disruption, like
Yeah.
physically and all of that. Like how has
Oh,
that been for you?
I am a very routine guy. Like things have got to be, I wake up, go to the bathroom, and then I have my protein coffee, my Premier Cafe
Cafe
Latte,
latte that you would
Premier
take on
Protein.
your deserted island. That was your top choice.
Seriously, that and the Pro Care chocolates.
That's right.
Yeah, I would definitely take the. I gotta have it. It's become a healthy habit, a good thing. I've developed these healthy habits, these good habits, but when I don't get them, I lose my shit.
Yeah.
I like my whole day is like completely thrown off. Or like one day I ran out and didn't realize it and didn't stock up and was just like, oh my God, I have to drink regular coffee like a regular person. No, I am a bariatric patient. I need my protein. And I'm like losing my mind, and like I'll have 15 eggs then, I guess, and I'm just
You
gonna
think
have
of
to
like
overeat today. And
makes me think of white chicks when they're like, she's gonna throw a BF. You do not want to see her throw a BF.
That's me. That's me without my Premier
Cafe
coffee in the morning.
latte.
My Premier Protein Cafe Latte. I throw a BF, make a BF. And so yeah, when I was sick, when I was in the hospital, I couldn't have my Premier Protein in the hospital. I went 4 days without it, and then I got home and made one, and I could only drink maybe a third of it before I started
Mhm.
feeling nauseous and like,
Mhm.
oh, this isn't staying down. And I thought for a minute, I'm done with Premier Protein Cafe lattes. I don't think I can have another one. But good news, folks. I won't be throwing a BF. I can stomach. I just have to drink it slower now for some reason. But
Yeah.
that's not a bad thing. That's a good.
Yeah.
That's all things
Mm.
I need to slow down anyways. So,
Mhm.
but yeah, throwing off the routine. We went on vacation. We went down to Cincinnati a couple weekends ago before I got sick, and I joked around saying that when we got back, now I need a vacation from my vacation.
Yeah.
And then I wound up in the hospital for 4 days and got to
Careful what you wish for. Not
got
the
to
type of vacation you were wanting.
I got to watch Fast and Furious 1 through 9.
Oh, wow.
So that was my vacation while I was trying to stomach, keep things in my stomach.
Aw.
But I got my vacation. No, but it's like your routine gets thrown off, and you count on these things,
Yeah.
to be there and to be a part of your process, and they're not there, and
Mhm.
you throw a BF.
Yeah. Well, and I think that's what I've been feeling kind of like panicked or worried about is because like I've been on a pretty much like the same routine for the last I would say like year now that I've been more in maintenance. So as far as like eating goes, of like I tend to have the same thing or similar things every day at similar time periods every day. And I've just been noticing that my body like intuitively has been craving different things, has been
Mm,
wanting things at different time periods than what I've been eating. And again, it's like that lack of structure or that change in structure
mhm.
feels again very like destabilizing and kind of like, "Oh no, like I have to change things and I don't wanna change things." But really, like, at least for my body, I know that it needs different things in different seasons, and but again, I think it's that diet culture thing that's just gotten in my head of like, you have to do the same thing and be consistent because if you're not consistent, that's when XYZ happens,
Yep.
and so that's kind of the space I'm in right now of like, no, I really know that my body is telling me what it needs, and it's learning
Mm,
to trust it and be okay with that, and even if I don't understand why it's needing to do certain things, it's like trusting the process, trusting your body of like, it's telling me what it needs. Let me just kind of listen and try it. And if it doesn't work out or I don't end up liking it, then I'll change again. But I think it's just interesting that connection to that structure. It's like I'm grieving that of like, oh, like it's
yeah.
not that the sameness isn't there anymore. And it makes me
Right.
sad.
So that's something that I've found out that, yeah, consistency is key, and trust the process. But when you start to listen to your body's needs and
Hmm.
you throw that structure out the window and you say, normally I have my egg with my hash brown and
Hmm.
my sausage at, I would typically have it around 11:30 ish.
Hmm.
It's like second breakfast for me. I have my Premier Protein Cafe latte, and then I have my eggs and my, you know. But what if I'm not hungry at 11:30?
Right.
What if I'm not hungry till 1 or 2?
Hmm.
Do I
Hmm.
eat it then, or do I overcompensate now, and do I have to
Yeah.
add this to it, and I have to have this bigger meal because I didn't eat anything earlier? And it's like, so there's something to be said for consistency, but at the same time, be consistent in listening to what your body
Hmm.
needs, not just
Hmm.
what you want, not just what you crave. If you're not hungry, then you're just not hungry because you haven't made room in your stomach yet. Maybe you just need water. Maybe you had too
Yeah.
much water in between, and maybe you just haven't taken a poop yet. Maybe,
Mhm.
you know what I mean? Like every
Yeah.
day is going to be different. So
Right.
being consistent, yeah, I mean that's cool. Getting a structure, building up those habits is cool, but listening to your body, I think, is just so much more important.
Mhm.
Um, because that's part of going back to being busy. Um, when you're a year to 2 to 3 years post-op, right in that area, for me at least, I'm eating every 2 to 3 hours.
Yeah.
That's turned into part of my busyness. It's like, it's I gotta go eat something. It's been about two,
Yeah.
3 hours. I gotta go
Yeah.
eat something. I gotta go eat something. And it's like, no, I'm not friggin' hungry,
Mhm.
and
Mhm.
then I get on the scale and it's like, why did I gain 3 pounds? It's like, well, because you were eating when you weren't even hungry. You didn't need that
Yeah.
fuel. And so you
Yeah.
got to listen to your body. That's
Yeah. And I think that's the transition too for just for me and my body, like going from, now that I'm 2 years out, my stomach is different than like right after surgery, where I think I was
yeah,
it's like I was trying to get as much food as possible because I didn't know like how like my stomach couldn't hold as much. And so I was eating more frequently, but now my stomach can hold more to where I don't know. I think that's kind of one of the things my body is just telling me for myself is like, I don't think I need to be eating as frequently because I'm able to keep more in, like I'm able to eat
yeah,
more in one sitting than I was, right out
yeah,
of surgery. So,
yeah,
but it's
yeah,
a weird transition, or it's been a weird transition for me. And it's like, oh no, I'm gonna like fail at it. And it's like I go to like extremes and it's like, no, it'll be okay.
yeah, yeah. It'll work out. It'll work out. You just gotta
Even if I have a BF, it's okay. It'll be
don't have
fine.
don't have a BF, Shay. Don't do it.
Don't do it. She's gonna
Just
have a
wanna
BF.
just want to say hi to a few more people real quick on TikTok.
Yes.
We've got the Berry Mail Experience is over here on TikTok again. Bariatric Betty is over here.
I love that.
Uh,
I love that name too. Like there's certain
Bariatric
like
Betty.
names that just stick. Like I'll remember that one. I like that because of the alliteration. Bariatric
Yeah,
Betty. It's fun.
Bariatric Betty, and she's cool too. She's her videos are great. Aaron's over here on TikTok. Thank you guys for being here. This is our first time ever. Joycey VSG Getting Healthy is on here. Thank you guys. This is our first time on TikTok. Well, not our first time on TikTok. Normally we do non-scale victories at 8:30 and then we jump off of TikTok at 9 and do our regular show, but Rob's not here to hold us down.
I feel like we could just do it. I mean,
No, I'm
when it's
just
the
kidding. We
three
could do it.
well, when it's the three of us, it's harder when we have a guest because they don't always have like
Yeah.
a burner or not a burner phone,
A
but like
burner phone. That's
I mean, kind of like a phone to use because we're not able to use StreamYard to stream on TikTok like we are with the other platforms. But I feel like when
yeah.
it's just the three of us, we could do it.
Yeah, probably. It just gets complicated. You got to go back and forth between, we got 3 different platforms open here. So we got to read comments
I
here.
believe in us. I think
Um,
we could do it.
triplet dad of TikTok is also
He's
on
platform hopping.
YouTube. He's platform hopping over here. And then over here on Instagram, Jason jumped into the room. Jason Smith, everybody.
What's
And
up?
then and Jody is here. I don't know if they're still here or not. If
Yeah, she
VS
said. Oh, she had just said that she was sorry to hear you were in the hospital, but she hopes
yeah.
you're doing well now.
Thank you, Jody. I appreciate that. I do want to jump up. Shannon Mack said that there's a power outage in Michigan. We are good here, but I hope you guys get power soon.
I got the power.
I got the power. We might not have electricity, but we have the power.
That's right.
That's
That's
what
right.
I had a pastor say that one time at a church service because our power went out, and he said, "We might not have electricity, but we have the power." And I was like,
Wow.
"Wow, that's good. That's really
Aw.
good." I can't forget that. I don't know why. Cheryl, my gastric sleeve odyssey. If you go back up in the comments, she said before SX. I'm not sure if that's the
Sleeve,
Okay, that's what I'm thinking.
maybe.
I kept myself busy doing so many things I didn't want to do to prove I wasn't the
Mm,
lazy fat girl. Now I'm just as busy, but it's doing all the things that I want to do, and that benefits me. And so,
yes.
yeah, I read that earlier, and I wanted to get back to that comment because that resonates with me. Because I was the big fat lazy guy.
Girl. Oh,
And yeah,
only
no,
when you threw the BFs.
only on the weekends. Only on the weekends. When I was really broke. But I still find myself saying that, and I project that, and I really do, and I'm going to be completely honest with you guys. I project it onto my wife and my kids and my family, and even sometimes friends, and I feel like they're judging me and thinking that I'm still
Mhm.
this worthless big fat lazy guy. And so it's like
Mm.
I gotta prove myself. I've gotta, someday it's not all the time, but some days it's like I want to get my steps in. I want to go to
Mhm.
work and I want to prove
Mhm.
that I'm look what all I can do. Like today I mowed the lawn because it needed to be done, but some days I'm like I'm going to go do stuff and I'm going to show my wife how, I'm not fat and lazy and I'm super sexy now and look at me, And it's like I have to like shrug it off and just kind of laugh and have a conversation with myself and just be like,
Yeah.
look, that's that's not me. That's it's so hard to shake that. It's so
Mhm.
hard to shake that
Well, when it was
mentality
it
because
was so part of your ingrained into your identity for so long, right? Like,
I was the funny fat guy
yeah,
that everybody would laugh at, and I would make fun of myself to make sure that nobody else made fun of
self-deprecate.
me
Yep.
first, right?
Mhm.
And so it's like that. What a habit! What
Yeah,
like
it's hard to
what?
break, and that's the
Yeah,
thing, it's like you don't have to prove it to anybody, it's like proving it to yourself of like, and that's what's hard to realize sometimes, it's like, I why do I care about what other I mean, there's an extent of like, yeah, like I wanna make sure that I'm being a healthy partner, for my husband or, certain relationship dynamics, I wanna show up as a good friend, but it's like, anybody that I feel like I have to prove myself to, like, they're probably just, like, not my people, and that's
yeah,
okay. And so it's like the people that are in my life, I know logically, like, I don't have to prove anything to them. It's myself that I'm trying to prove that to. And why is that I feel so insecure about certain things? And
yeah, yeah.
that's where the beauty of therapy comes in to help with that stuff because it's really hard to navigate.
I'm lucky to have a wife that is brutally honest with me, and she says to me, "Why are you projecting that on me?
Yeah,
Like,
that's
why,
not my
why,
thing
why?"
to carry.
I never said that. That never came out of my mouth. I'm not
Mhm,
even thinking that,
mhm,
and then she'll reassure me and say, "You look fantastic. You look great. You don't have to." I was going to go into work today. She was like, "No, take a
mhm,
day off." And
mhm.
I'm proud of you for, doing all the things that you've done around the house with the kids. And it was just like, that meant a lot to me to hear
Yeah,
her say that, like, that I'm enough, like that
yeah,
I'm doing enough, that I'm good enough. Because I still sometimes see me sitting in that corner in a recliner,
mhm,
not doing anything and just being angry at myself.
mhm,
And it's like, and that was only 3, 4 years ago. That's
mhm.
not a long time ago, you
Yeah,
know?
mhm,
Um, like I, man, what a difference,
mhm.
2, 2, 3, 4 years can make. And then to still kind of deal with that mentally, you
Yeah.
know?
Well, it's
Uh,
ingrained, it's, like, deeply rooted. I was talking to Murph a bit before we hopped on live that I just with my new therapist I found, I've been doing EMDR therapy, and that, started from talking with Laura that we had, like, several episodes ago, her talking about that. I'm like, "Hmm." But part of the process of that is, like, getting to those deep-rooted things, and a lot of times they're connected to different experiences in life, and it's just amazing how certain experiences will contribute to that way of thinking, and it's not something that y like, even logically, if you know that of "I'm enough," that holds on, and it's hard to process through it, so you
what do
are
you guys Thank you. Likewise, as are you. Um, what do you guys say? Does anybody have any like mantras or anything that you want to share? I know we've only got about 5, 6 ish minutes left, but what what do you guys do to? And I wish we'd open the floor up sooner. What do you guys do to what am I trying to say? Like to reassure yourself
Mhm,
that you're enough, that you don't have to be busy, that you don't need to project, that you are doing things differently, that you're a different person, I guess. I don't know.
yeah,
What am I trying to say here? Like I
yeah.
what do you guys do?
Yeah, just I mean, and you could just keep it open, like, just while we have the last few minutes, feel free to, like, start commenting, but I can share what I do, and then we'll see if anybody else kinda shares what they do too, but I know for me, it's been helpful to recognize those thoughts or phrases that run through my head a lot, and a lot of them are, "I'm not good enough," "You're not doing enough," why are you even trying? Nobody's like, you're a fraud, like all of these things that will run through my head. And then a lot of what my process looks like with that is just acknowledging it. I think for a long time I tried to ignore it and be like, oh, that's so stupid. Why am I thinking that? Which is like another, kind of self-deprecating thing to do, sort of. But it's like acknowledging like, wow, like those thoughts are really loud right now. Interesting. And kind of approaching it with curiosity. And then for me, I'm a spiritual person. So one of the things that I'll do is then I ask God, and you can call whatever you call that for yourself. And I say, okay, like God, these things feel very real and very true right now. Are they true? And then anytime I ask that, I always get an answer. And it's not always right away, but it's, sometimes I'll get phrases or I'll see something. And one of the things that I say a lot is it's one thing to know something, it's a different thing to experience it. And so it's like logically I can know that those things are lies, but it's a different thing to experience that. And I think that's a journey like I'll always be on of experiencing and learning like, no, like I am enough. I am worthy. I don't have to do anything to prove my worth. Like I'm enough just because I was created to be enough. And so those are some of the things that I do, but easier said than done, especially when you're deep in that of having those thoughts.
Yeah, absolutely. Fact or feeling is a
Oh,
good
that's a
game
good one.
good game to play sometimes. Am I feeling like I'm worthless?
Mhm.
Is that a fact or is that a feeling?
Mhm. I like that.
Am I fact or feeling? And that's our game for tonight, Shay. That
Yeah.
we didn't play. I thought for sure
Uh,
we'd have a game. Yeah.
I don't know. We
Um,
have to save it for Rob because he's the one that the games annoy the most. So it's not as
yeah.
fun because you're kind of on board. So it's like I don't get to torture you in the same way I do with him. So
That scavenger hunt was a lot of fun too.
I know that
That
was
we
fun.
played with Mercedes. I want to do that again. That
Yeah.
was a good one.
Yeah.
But yeah, fact or feeling. When I before I try to say something self-deprecating or try to think something, um, yeah, test it.
I like
Test
it.
it, and is there love in that? What's it going to produce? I always tell my kids too, if you before you say something to each other, test it to love. Is there
Mhm.
love in what you're about to say to your sibling or to your friend? If there's
Mhm.
not love in it, don't say it. You
Did
know,
you
Uh,
did you get that factor feeling from Mandy on TikTok, or did you say that on your own accord?
I think we said it at the same time. I
No,
did see.
yeah, I was just gonna say that's kinda crazy that if you guys
I
didn't
I
if you
said
didn't
it.
see it, that you
I
guys, like,
said
said
it, and then I looked down, and then it
yeah,
was like
you guys
there,
are
like
on the
30
same
seconds later.
wavelength,
So
I like
that's yeah,
that's cool.
yeah,
Look,
fact or feeling.
we got some other good comments. I can read, Instagram if you wanna read Facebook after, but,
I'm not
let's see.
reading Sarah's comments. She's just trying to make me cry at this point. I'm not
That's why
going to
I
do
want
it.
you to read
No,
it.
no, we got 2 more minutes left in the show. I'm not doing it, Sarah.
All right, well, I'll read all of them then.
Thank
So,
you.
Sharky Chicky said, "Before I put my feet on the ground in the morning, I say to myself, I am worthy of myself and deserve my peace." I love that. And then Jody said, "Always a work in progress. Just keep moving forward. It's the only choice. You've got this." Lots of self-talk. I feel like Jody's like our hype person. I'm like, I need to have like a little jingle
Yeah,
in my head.
come on.
Uh, Lots of self-talk, not to let the critic take over, and lots of therapy. Yes.
Yeah,
Very
there.
good
Yeah,
advice.
love
Um,
it.
okay, I'm gonna read Sarah's because hers is so sweet. She said,
Uh,
"But look what God has done in your life, Chris. I mean, he has changed you in a positive way. And look at this opportunity right now. You're helping so many. This was God's plan that you share your story and help people all over the world. How amazing is that? But wait, there's more. I can say it took me many years to realize that I need to stop being a people pleaser. I just wanted to make everyone happy. But what about my happiness? I'm going through a storm with my bio family, and it got to the point that I said, no, I am enough. Good for you.
Yep.
and I have it to God. And I realized I had to let go of them and let God take control. And it's very hard, but I know this is what God is telling me to do, that I can't do this on my own. I need my Father to be my guide. Yes. And that's, Sarah, like, good for
Yeah.
you. And that's such a painful process of like realizing that certain people in your life like aren't maybe the healthiest people, even when they are related to you. And I'm sorry because that's painful, but good for you. Like you are enough. And
Yeah.
yeah.
Thank you, Sarah. I'm not going to cry.
It's
Hashtag
okay.
real men do cry.
That's right.
And I'm totally cool with it. I'm gonna
Yeah. Oh, this
hold
is
it in.
good.
I'm gonna be over here busy on TikTok to ignore my feelings.
No.
No, I'm kidding.
Joyce, I don't know if it's just Joyce or she says Joycey, but I like how you said that, so I'm gonna go with
I didn't
Joycey.
even realize it probably is Joyce. I'm just
But I like
not
Joycey. Hopefully you're okay with that. That's our nickname to you if your name
Joycey.
is Joycey.
She's from
Um,
Jersey.
Joycey from Joycey. She said, I am enough. I am worthy of being healthy. That's a huge one. I feel like for a long time, I did not believe that for myself.
Yeah.
I'm doing the best I can. Yes, girl. And your name is Joycey.
Joycey. Okay. I can't believe I said that. It's probably just Joyce.
But
Yeah.
I like it. I like Joycey.
Triplet dad of TikTok. Bro, I forget your name. I'm sorry.
I think that's his real name.
Yeah. He said losing weight is hard, but being obese is harder.
Yeah.
That's his jam, and that gets him through.
Yeah. Joyce, I just want to confirm those that were curious. She said, it is Joyce. I was called Joycey by my cousins, and she's from Alabama. Thanks for joining us.
Alabama.
Well, me and Murph are your cousins, I guess, because I like calling you Joycey. That's so
Joycey.
cute.
Joycey. Oh boy, my daughter's taking pictures of me.
Smile or something.
I didn't know. It was she walked away. It was like too late. Yeah.
That was good. I needed that. That was
Good, yeah.
I miss you and Rob, and it was
I
nice
know.
to like catch up.
Bummed Rob couldn't be here.
Yeah.
But duty calls.
Probably literally for him, poor guy.
It's bad. Sharky Chickie
Sharky Chicky.
said my therapist told me that once the critic steps in to take them as a record and throw them on the ground and stomp on them. Critique. Is that critique? Wants to critique?
No, the critic.
Critic steps in. Okay. To take, like a record. I like that. Yeah.
There's also, if anybody is interested in kind of doing more like exploratory work on yourself, internal family systems is an interesting thing to approach, and there are things to look into, and talks about kind of looking at different parts of yourself. And there's different therapists who specialize in that, but that's what that reminds me of what she talked about. So another interesting thing to explore.
Yeah.
Well, that was a good episode.
Sandman's beating me to death.
Classic.
Whoa.
Wait. Hold on. Can you say it again? Can you say it again?
The Sandman's beating me to death.
Oh, wait.
Wah. There it is.
See, Rob. Oh.
That's
There
for you,
it
Mom. Thanks. And nobody on TikTok they don't have any idea what we're doing.
Oh,
right?
I know, right.
They didn't hear that.
I just played a wah 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 just to recap TikTok.
Thanks for letting us hang out with you on TikTok. I guess we're gonna jump off of here first.
Yeah. Do you want to do okay, we'll jump off on TikTok so we can do the full outro.
Do the outro. So we don't,
Okay. Bye, TikTok friends.
Thank you guys. Have a great night. We'll see you later.
That was fun being on TikTok for the night.
Yeah, that was fun.
I liked it.
All right.
Rob does it so seamlessly. I feel like this has been a very awkward lead up to the outro. He always like has a good way of like wrapping it up and being like, I noticed that on ladies' night. I didn't even do an outro because he's just so good and seamless at it.
Yeah. And Rob's all business. You know, he holds us together more than I think we give him credit for.
Mhm.
He keeps the train moving. See? Yeah, there you go. That's
There, yeah, no, I'm trying to like. I feel
is
like
that is that how? Okay.
Yeah, I think
that's how we normally do it.
I think that's what he typically does. He plays the music, but he does it in such a seamless way, very opposite to what this has become. But that's okay. We'll roll with it. Go for it, Murph.
Oh, what does he say?
Okay,
I just do that. I just do the.
So
What?
okay.
I don't know what he
we're
said.
we're gonna do it. We're gonna get this right, you guys. So thank you for joining us on another episode of the Waiting Table Podcast, where we're serving
Saving.
the weight loss community.
1 pound at a time.
See, this is my part, and then I go, "Okay, thanks, guys." Oh, dance it off.
I'm the girl.
I'm the girl. Let's do-
I'm still the girl.
Rob, we miss you. Where are you?
Rob.
You need to help us.
Oh.
Thanks for joining, guys. We love you all. Stay busy in a great way.
Yes.
Take time to yourself. You got this.
Bye.